org. Again, promo code STAR when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, good news for Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott, as according to Rebecca Lopez of WFAA, Dallas police will not be pursuing a sexual assault charges against the Cowboys quarterback, citing they found no evidence to support the accuser's claim. In other news, the team declined the fifth-year option on quarterback Trey Lance, which was valued at over $22 million. And in the NBA playoffs, Dame's playing, but the Pacers lead. More on Extra Innings.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Good evening and welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining, whether you're listening on 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, if you're listening via the AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you're in the bullpen. Of course, you can join us on YouTube. All our shows are streamed live. Just go to search SA Sports Star. Go ahead and like, subscribe. You can comment along with the show there. And, of course, I appreciate everybody for stopping through. And you can always be a part of the show by calling at 210-656-ESPN. That's 210-656-3776. Good stuff going on throughout the day today. Good news for Dak Prescott, as you heard in the Sports Center update, as he is free and clear according to Dallas police, and the case will be dropped, citing no evidence in the sexual assault claims that were pending against him. He also made an appearance last night at a home runs event that they hold up there in Dallas. His buddy Zeke, like he never left, up there hanging out with him. And Dak Prescott is a very divisive topic amongst Cowboys fans, and I get it. I've explained the way I think they should go about it. Sign him, find the next guy, develop him for a couple of years, and when Dak's contract runs out or the money runs out, then you can make your move if Dak still has not proven enough to you. But those quarterbacks are just so hard to come by. There are only, at any given time, 12 to 15 in the league that you would consider good enough to elevate you to that status. You happen to have one of those, you might as well hang on to them. Today, I wanted to squash the narrative, though, and Joe Reinagle will be joining me here in just a little bit at 6:15 or so to talk about certain things. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about is Zeke being back. Zeke's back. Fantastic. And I've had a couple of days to sit and think on it, and I heard Jason Minix on the Blitz talk about how great he is as a pass protector, which is true. He is elite level when it comes to being a pass protector, and he is an elite level goal line short yardage back. Goal line and short yardage, one of the places the Cowboys really struggled last year. I think Zeke, the feed Zeke's hungry. He's going to fill that role very well. Role that he's going to fill very well is going to be as a pass protector to Dak Prescott, because there is a good possibility you're going in with two rookie starters, if not just two new starters on the offensive line, whether it is Cooper Beebe or it is Brock Hoffman at center, yet to be determined, but you are at least going to have a brand new left tackle in Tyler Guyton and a new center, whether he has been in the system for a year or not. But the system's the important thing that I want to talk about right now, because Dak Prescott was asked at this charity event yesterday about being in year 2 of Mike McCarthy's offense, because we forget the first few years it was Kellen Moore's offense. This was the first year we got to see Mike McCarthy's brainchild.
Continue to get better. You just said it. I mean, we scratched the surface in that sense of this was our first year with Mike. I'm calling the show. I talked a lot about the PCP all year long, and just the way that that's continued to improve, and the way that we're able to jump into this year with all the great things we had last year and take it into more game planning earlier, I guess you can say, in the offseason for things that may come during the season. That's just only going to prepare us in the details, and us not making adjustments late that we can make earlier. And just another year is going to be special.
Another year is going to be special. Now, remember, just a little over a year ago, around the combine, everybody was wondering, Mike McCarthy's offense, what's going to happen? What's going to be different with Kellen Moore? And we had that tweet from John Machota, who will be joining the Blitz tomorrow at 5:15, and maybe the guys will ask him about this. But he had that viral tweet where he had a one-on-one with them off to the side, where the big quote from that was, sometimes you just want to run the damn ball. And I came on here and said, that doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense for this reason. And I showed my work, Mike McCarthy's history. Mike McCarthy's history in Green Bay as a play caller was to throw the ball with Aaron Rodgers, with Brett Favre, doesn't matter who he had at quarterback. He threw it more than he ran it. He was a throwing-based offense. So that soundbite never really, or that quote that was printed, never made sense to me. And we kind of saw it come to fruition this year. Dak Prescott had statistically his best year of his career. Was second in MVP voting, threw the ball a ton. Now, does he want to run it situationally? Goal line stuff, things that they didn't excel at this year? Yes, Zeke can help in that area. But I look at it, and this can work because it works in the NFL. You don't have to be a dominant run team to make it to the Super Bowl or even win the Super Bowl. And as always, I will show my work. Think of some of the more recent elite teams or even Super Bowl teams. Patrick Mahomes, I get it. It's Patrick Mahomes, but who have his running backs been? They've been nobodies because they throw the ball more than they run it. Right? What about Tom Brady? Well, Tom Brady's Tom Brady. But also Rans and other guys at running backs, whether it was in New England or in Tampa Bay for the majority of his career. Buffalo's a team that everybody thinks is on the cusp. They've never had a dominant running game outside of Josh Allen. They don't have a dominant back, not a Pro Bowl back, not a 1,000-yard back. James Cook finally kind of came into his own a little bit this year, but he was a nobody when they drafted him. And before that was Devin Singletary. Speaking of Singletary, he had to take over the load in Houston this past year. I can go on. The Ravens' best running back was their quarterback. Yes, they've spent money this year and gotten a Derrick Henry. But even the teams that have made the Super Bowls, look at the Rams. The Rams a couple of years ago, they didn't have any elite running backs on that roster. As a matter of fact, it was Cam Akers and Sony Michel who led them to a Super Bowl. By the way, Cam Akers, free agent, still available if you'd like to sign him. Did it with Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, and Miles Sanders. And I think we saw from his time in Carolina this year and the contract that he got to go there in the first place, nobody believed Miles Sanders was that dude either. The running back position, while important, is ancillary in the NFL today. You need a quarterback. You need to be able to get your throwing game going. You need to be able to get your star wide receiver like a CeeDee Lamb going. That's how the offense gets going these days. Mike McCarthy was kind of at the forefront of that with what he did in Green Bay. He is continuing it last season in Dallas, and I think he's going to continue it more this year, which is going to make Zeke better for the Cowboys in terms of what their run game is supposed to be. Short yardage, goal line, pass blocking. Those are the things that are going to matter in this Dallas Cowboys offense this year. They could still possibly make a move. Maybe the Steelers, who just declined Najee Harris's fifth-year option today, maybe he becomes available in a trade and you can pick him up on the cheap the way a lot of the quarterbacks not named Trey Lance from that draft went. That's a possibility. Damian Pierce, there are running backs across the rosters. The Dolphins just drafted Jalen Wright. They also have A-Chain and Mostert. You look at a multitude of teams that have a bevy of running backs. I'm sure some of them will go very cheaply once you get down to final cuts in the NFL. You need a quarterback. You need a left tackle. You need a wide receiver one. And you need a pass rusher. Those are the dominant positions in the NFL right this second and the ones that command the most money. Outside of that, next tier, probably need a number one corner. But corners are irrelevant without a pass rush for the most part. Hunter Hitch on our YouTube feed says, a great running back's like a wave runner. It's cool to have, but it's not a necessity. It's a great analogy. I like that. J4 says running backs are non-important. I don't think they're non-important. I just think they're a piece to the puzzle. They aren't the piece to the puzzle. Christian McCaffrey changed the fortunes of the San Francisco 49ers for the last few years. But Christian McCaffrey is also an anomaly in terms of what he does. He's great as a receiver out of the backfield. You can split him out wide that a lot of running backs don't create in the same manner because they don't have the same skill set. Because let's face it, Christian McCaffrey, son of Ed McCaffrey, grew up probably learning a lot more about the receiving game, routes, how to run them than any other running back in the history of the NFL. He is basically a receiver that can play running back, like Deebo Samuel. He's the exception to the rule. He's not the rule. And there just aren't a lot of those guys in the NFL. What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Also, we're going to talk about Trae Young's recent post. Is he starting to lay the foundation to get himself to San Antonio? Some would say yes. Some would say I'm making a whole lot out of nothing. We'll discuss and conversate with you. Plus, Joe Reinagle of the Blitz is going to join me to talk about that and my conspiracy, or not even conspiracy, but my thoughts on the Cowboys offense and how it's going to pan out this coming season. That's all coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Tyler Guyton joining us here on the Blitz.
You know, Tyler, I don't know if you're a mock draft guy, but most of the mock drafts that I read leading up to yesterday's draft had the Cowboys taking you at 24. I'm just wondering if you read any of that. Were you concerned when you saw that the Cowboys traded back?
I was. You know, there's a couple of other teams that I've been beating with that have me high on their draft boards as well. And when I saw Dallas trade back, my heart dropped for sure because this is really where I wanted to be. And they made it right. They came and got me. It was an amazing move. It was a nice chess move to get some more picks, and I completely respect that.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. San Antonio Sports Star.
Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
For the last 4 decades, San Antonio sports has dared this community to dream big through the transformational power of sport. For 40 years, we've inspired youth to get in the game, motivated San Antonians to live healthy, been a force behind places to play, and hosted events that impact. As we celebrate 40 years of dreaming big, we invite you to dream big along with us. To support our mission, donate today at sanantoniosports.org.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, what's up? I'm Elle Duncan, host of the Elle Duncan Show. If you're looking for a podcast that gives you a little bit about a lot and a lot about nothing, you come to the right place. There's pop culture, there's sports, really anything that we find particularly interesting that you're talking about on social media. And oh yeah, I do it with this guy named Gary Streisky, who's a homie.
Hey, Elle, what's going on? Thanks for the mention. Can I get on the graphic now?
No. Follow and listen to the Elle Duncan Show wherever you get your podcasts.
Looking to step up your Mother's Day flowers? The Home Depot has an idea. Let Mom's Green Thumb do some digging with colorful flowers, pots, and premium soils to bring out the most in her patios, walkways, and gardens. Right now, get Vigoro potting soil just $8.97 for strong, healthy, vibrant plants, indoors and outside. Shop our wide selection online and pick up your order in-store and give Mom the gift of a beautiful garden. Get Vigoro potting soil just $8.97 at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. See homedepot.com/delivery for details.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportsstar.com, or if you're watching on YouTube at SA Sports Star, be sure to like, subscribe. Appreciate everybody for joining along tonight. Right now, I'm going to be joined by half of the Blitz. That's right, Joe Reinagel of the Blitz. Catch him weekdays from 2 to 6 right here on San Antonio Sports Star. And look, I don't know if you've heard my diatribe that I opened the show with or not, Joe, but I'll break it down real quickly for you. And Zeke makes sense for the Cowboys because the Cowboys aren't really looking to run the football.
Yes. Well, look, I heard your diatribe, by the way, and it makes some sense in a lot of areas, and I get you. The NFL is a passing league now. There's no question about that. And I was all for bringing Zeke back if you had somebody else, because I honestly, for the life of me, would have bet the ranch that the running back in last weekend's draft. They didn't do that. As a short yardage guy, as a blocker, everything that you talked about, I think Zeke is a great fit. But I still think you have to have some threat of a running game. You can't just, unless you're Patrick Mahomes, you can't just snap the ball and throw it every single time. There has to be some sort of a threat. And right now, in my mind, unless Rico Dowdle comes to life and is something that we haven't seen before, Dak Prescott can't do that. And that's not a knock against Dak. Most quarterbacks can't do that. You have to have some sort of running threat. And to me, the Cowboys just don't have that.
Well, to be fair, with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, they also did not have a great running game. And James Cook kind of came into his own this season. So maybe they might think that that could be Rico Dowdle. If not, like I said, there are a lot of running backs on a lot of teams like Mostert, and Jalen Wright was drafted, and they already have Devon A-Chain. Like, they've got a multitude, Jeff Wilson Jr. They have got 4 or 5 backs in Miami alone, much less San Francisco and other places around the league. They're not all going to make the team. And when you get closer to final cuts, that's when you could start to see deals happen.
Yeah, that could very well happen, or it continues the theme that Jerry's been preaching. Hey, we've got these guys. We've had them. They've been in our system for a couple of years, and now it's time for them to step up. And maybe that's exactly what they're thinking with Rico Dowdle, that it's his turn, like it was for Pollard last year. It's his turn to step up. And, I mean, Jerry's been pretty consistent, whether you like it or not, and most people don't seem to like it. But that, look, I've got these guys. It's time for them to step up. It's time for us to see what we've got. And it just seems to me that he's thinking the same thing about Rico Dowdle. It's time for this guy, for us to see what he's got. And this is his opportunity to show us that he can be the running back for the Dallas Cowboys.
And maybe not just Rico Dowdle, because one thing you have said on the Blitz that does make a lot of sense to me, Jerry seemed more angry than normal at the loss to the Packers in the playoffs. And maybe these guys ready for their big deals that we keep waiting on, like Dak and CD and Micah, who all 3 no-showed in that playoff game for the most part. Maybe he's wanting them to step up and prove it as well.
Well, I think so. I mean, and Jerry said as much, right? That Dak's going to have to do more with less. So yeah, it's time for him to step up. And again, look, everybody can brag about the 12 wins 3 years in a row. It's a great accomplishment. And Dak Prescott during the regular season got it done. I will say this, and I know everybody thinks I knock on Dak too much, but look, Cowboys had a really easy schedule last year. For the most part, they beat up on bad teams and got beat when the competition stepped up. And so that's an issue. That's an issue. And you can blame Dak, you can blame the defense, you can blame whatever you want, but it's just a fact. That's what happened. So, Jerry, hey, put your money where your mouth is. I'm paying you a lot of money, and it's time for you to lead this team or get out of the way. It's going to be interesting to see. And I think when push comes to shove, Pledge, Dak will get his extension with the Cowboys for whatever that is, if it's a short-term, long-term, whatever it may be. But I think Jerry is to the point right now that, hey, we got these guys. We're paying them. They got to perform.
Now, I look at the Cowboys, and I wonder for you, what is your biggest question mark going into this season about this team? Because for me, between the losses suffered, the change in coordinator, the defense is the biggest question mark for me on the Dallas Cowboys right now.
Well, yeah, it has to be. And look, Mike Zimmer is a good defensive coordinator, and I think he's going to come in and make some changes. And the defense will probably be okay. I think the biggest one for me is going to be that offensive line. Because I think as it stands right now, you're going to have 2 rookies starting on opening day for the Dallas Cowboys on an offensive line. Cooper Beebe at center, and then Guyton at left tackle. Those guys are going to have to perform. And for me, that offensive line is a huge question mark. But you can look at that. Is it the defense is certainly a question mark. The running game is going to be a question mark. The Cowboys have some questions to answer. And look,
the NFC East got better. The Philadelphia Eagles got better. They went out and made some moves to get better. They did. And I contend that the Commanders are going to be a better football team. A lot of that depends on Jaden Daniels, because he's going to be expected to pull the load, and he's going to make his share of mistakes. Every rookie does, but I think that team's going to be better. The Giants are the Giants, and I think they've got a ways to go. But NFC East is going to be tougher this year than it was last year.
Now, as we transition to the San Antonio Spurs, and I know you get upset with the not skipping steps thing, but one of the things when it pertains to the Spurs, the first kind of seedling may have just been laid. We know that players use their social media and lyrics and different posts to start to lay the foundation of their futures, in a sense. And we may have gotten that today on Instagram with Trae Young, who posts a photo wearing silver and black, and the caption is literally just a black heart and a white heart. Could he potentially, from what we've heard from him talking about wanting to play with Wemby, be starting to lay the foundation to get his way to San Antonio?
Yeah, look, I think he's playing it just right. Again, the Hawks have not said anything about trading those guys or what their plans are, so they know what it is. Maybe Trae knows what it is as well. But I think he's going to have plenty of suitors, and I think Trae Young, any player is going to want to come and play with Victor Wembanyama. It's just a fact. I don't see it any other way. And people can talk about San Antonio and no players want to come here. They will, to play with this guy, because they know what the future holds and how good this guy is going to be. So, hey, it very well could have been a shot that's out there that says, hey, Pop, I would be interested if you picked up the phone and gave me a call. Guess what? We'll talk. Let's do it. And let's make something happen. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's going to start the list of a lot of players, I think, that are going to be interested in trying to make their way to San Antonio. But it was an interesting post, that's for sure.
He is Joe Ryangle of The Blitz. Catch him every weekday with Jason Minutes from 2 to 6, including tomorrow, as they will be live from Retama Park to get you ready for the Kentucky Derby. Sticking with the Spurs, I know that you like to see this team bring in some vets. I think a lot of us will. We've all kind of clamored for it since Wemby first was drafted. Hell, since they won the draft lottery just a little over a year ago today. But I know you're not the biggest fan of Trae Young. What would be a move that you want to see the Spurs execute? Because everything comes down to cost-benefit analysis, right? You don't want to sell the farm for a Trae Young and not have anything left over when it's all said and done.
Well, and that's it. And I've always said that a blockbuster deal like a Trae Young is not necessary. If it happens, it happens, and they get a guy like that, obviously you're going to be happy about it. But I think I look at a guy like SGA, for example, Jalen Brunson. I just look at those two guys, and I know they're playing out of their minds, both of them right now. But nobody thought they would become the players that they have become. And I just think that there are players out there that just need maybe a different system, maybe a Coach Pop coaching, a player like Wemby to play with. They're out there that can develop into those types of players. And I think it's incumbent on the front office of the San Antonio Spurs to find those guys. And maybe they have. Maybe they've got their eye on some guys. But I think some veteran guys that still have some years in front of them, not guys like a Paul George or some of these guys that we're hearing about it, a Chris Paul. Those guys are at the end of their careers, and I don't want to see that. I want to see a build. So I'd like some young players, some young veterans to be brought in here to pair with Wemby, Devin Vassell, and start to build the foundation for a team that can use its draft picks and the money that they have to spend. And if 2025 is the goal, and that's supposedly the magical, draft, then you still have that option available to you, but you've started building with some young veteran players that can come in here and contribute this year and get this franchise back on the winning track.
He is Joe Reinagle, the Blitz. Catch him and Jason Minix every weekday from 2 to 6. As a matter of fact, go out and check them out at Rotama Park tomorrow as they get you ready for the Kentucky Derby. Joe, thanks so much for your time this afternoon.
Hey, anytime, Pledge.
That is Joe Reinagle joining me via the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. They are online at buyersbarricades.com. Lots to talk about with y'all, including the San Antonio Spurs and what we talked about with the potential for Trae Young or your best option. Plus, a lot of people still want to get in on the Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboy conversation. Martin, I see you there. Alfredo, Freddie, everybody hang on the line. We'll get to your calls when we come back next, right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Friday on the Morning Huddle, we will look back at closeout games. Do we still have the Bucks and the 76ers to kick around? We'll look forward to what will be a fantastic series between the Nuggets and the Timberwolves.
Plus, it's Kentucky Derby weekend. Dick Girardi joins us at 8:30 to tell us everything we need to know. The Morning Huddle starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Looking to step up your Mother's Day flowers? The Home Depot has an idea. Let Mom's Green Thumb do some digging with colorful flowers, pots, and premium soils to bring out the most in her patios, walkways, and gardens. Right now, get Vigoro potting soil just $8.97 for strong, healthy, vibrant plants, indoors and outside. Shop our wide selection online and pick up your order in-store and give Mom the gift of a beautiful garden. Get Vigoro potting soil just $8.97 at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. See homedepot.com/delivery for details.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Texas weather this time of year means storms, wind, rain, and hail. You know, if you were hit with the recent storms and you think you have roof damage, don't make the situation worse by putting your faith in one of those out-of-town storm chasers. Work with a local roofing company with years of experience. Work with a company whose people live in our area and deal with the same weather we do. That's Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Or you can get them online at stevensroofing.net. Buy local, stay local, trust local with Stevens Roofing.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
What's the room again?
1240 down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Sammy, don't touch that. That's someone's old food.
Here we are. Do you have the key?
You have both of ours.
Oh, right. Not working.
Rub it.
Come on.
Try flipping it over.
Seriously. Why can't we go inside? I'm tired.
Give me yours.
You have mine.
All right.
What?
Please, if you
Dad,
could just...
why aren't you opening the door?
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Folks, quality is a huge deal. It's what I look for when I recommend something to my listeners. It means you can depend on it. Quality means it won't let you down. It's something you can be proud of. Well, that's the definition of a Connecticut water softener. With other water softener brands, you just never know. Maybe they work half the time or they're just plain junk. A Connecticut water softener is up to 80% more efficient than competing models and will be the last water softener you'll ever own. That's because you're buying quality, and it's backed up with an outstanding 10-year warranty, too. If you're ready to enjoy all the benefits that come with quality, bring home a Connecticut water softener. Call the team at Connecticut at 656-PURE or online at ConnecticutSA.com. That's 656-PURE or ConnecticutSA.com. And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE Connecticut.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. You can follow me on X, Instagram, all that good stuff, at I am Pledger. Follow the station at SA Sports Star. Lots to get into. We'll get into what the Spurs should do, but a lot of you still want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. And if you got anything you want to get off your chest, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Martin's been waiting patiently on hold for me. Martin, welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure, my man. How are you doing?
Man, I'm just frustrated with his team. You know, Jerry, this morning they were talking to him. They had the interview with him. He was talking about that running back with Texas and all this blah, 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 how he liked them. And what did they do? Nothing. They had chances to get good running backs, but he just refuses to do that. And Dak, I've had it with him. I think just let him play this year out and just let him go next year, but that's not going to happen, I don't know about Jerry. I think he's lost it. Hopefully I think Zimmer's going to do a better job on defense than the other defensive coordinator, At least he didn't have a 28-3 lead and lose it. I just had it. You have a good day.
All right, I got a question for you, Martin, then. If that's your pet peeve with the Cowboys is that they are ignoring the running back position. Are you ignoring it if you're not going to use it anyway?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, because I'm just wondering, because do you know who some of the running backs that Mike McCarthy has had throughout his tenure as head coach are?
No, I haven't kept up with that.
I mean, it's a lot of no names, also Rans, Hollings, Ahmad Green's probably the biggest name that they've had, but Mike McCarthy just doesn't run the ball. It's not a staple to the offense. So investing heavily at a position that's not going to be used anyway is a waste of an asset in a sense.
Yeah, I understand that, and I know it's a passing league, but the thing is that, whenever they line up on the box, Dak, he gets scared. I don't know if he's colorblind. He doesn't know what the color jerseys are, For real, I'm for real. I mean, but you need a little threat of the run, so that way if they do that, your man can go through the line, But, there is tempting Dallas to run.
I hear you. I appreciate the phone call, Martin. You're welcome to call back anytime. Look, it is a difficult thing for understanding, liking it. But the Kansas City Chiefs found an Isaiah Pacheco. The Los Angeles Rams found a Cam Akers, and most recently Kyron Williams. These are guys that are undrafted guys, late round draft pick guys that have worked in the NFL. And those are just a couple of the handful of options across the league on great teams that have been in the playoffs and won Super Bowls or been to Super Bowls. Sony Michel is a name that's made it. I mean, there are a bunch of names that you would not consider feature backs that have done well. I mean, I mentioned earlier in the show, the Eagles did it with Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell. Those guys aren't getting above a league minimum deal anywhere else, but they're just right for the system. And maybe that's what Rico Dowdle is. And maybe that's what Zeke Elliott is, because Zeke Elliott provides the protection element and the short yardage element that is needed when they actually do attempt to run the ball. 656 ESPN 210-656-3776. A lot of talk going into the Spurs off season. I see a ton of comments here, including Fred Robert Casares Jr., who on our YouTube live feed at SA Sports Star says, trade Keldon Johnson, stay away from Trae Young. He has an attitude problem. Definitely stay away from Chris Paul, and he can't stay healthy. And also Klay Thompson is past his prime. Okay. I hear a lot of what people don't want. Stay away from this guy, stay away from that guy, stay away from this guy. What do you want? And is what you want available? Like, you may want Giannis Antetokounmpo. Doesn't mean you're going to get him. I know a lot of people don't want LeBron James. I hear a lot of what you don't want. What do you want the Spurs to do and spend their possible capital on to bring in that would be possibly available? One name that I've seen floating around that a lot of Spurs fans would like is DeJounte Murray. And I think part of that is because he's been here. So do you want him because he's great and would elevate this team, or do you want him because he's familiar? 656 ESPN 656-3776. JC, you're on Extra Innings with Pleasure, my man. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. I've been listening. Who do you want for Spurs? Who do you don't want? But I wouldn't mind if the Spurs, if he's eligible, LeBron James' son, Bronny. I believe he might be an average college basketball player. I mean, he could develop into a better player in the NBA. Some players develop better skills and end up being superstars.
But where would you want him? Would you want to waste one of your two possible lottery picks on him?
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a good question, but I wouldn't mind bringing him in, and maybe his dad will follow him, because he mentioned in an interview he would play with his son. He would like to do that. That was just my.
So you want like a couple of years of LeBron, and hopefully his son develops if he falls into the early second round, where you might be able to take Bronny. Is that what I'm getting from you?
And then hopefully turn out like a Tony. I mean, a player who wasn't a big name, skills wise, and develop into a star player in the NBA. Like, I mean, Bronson and SGA. I mean, skills like that. I mean, I'm not comparing them, but it's just
I understand what you're saying.
An idea. Yep.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the call, JC. Call back anytime. That is an idea. I know some Spurs fans, and I think a lot of that has to deal with just the rivalry between both Cleveland and Miami when the Spurs were winning titles. Don't want him because of that more so than anything, because LeBron's a veteran. LeBron's still averaging over 25 points and 8 boards a game. I mean, he's still got it. But I think his antics and just past rivalries kind of rub people the wrong way in San Antonio about him. Justin Guerrero says on our YouTube live feed, DeJounte Murray was talking that trash about the system when he left. He burned the bridge with us. I see Young trouble. So a lot of people are out on Trae Young. A lot of people are out on LeBron James. But what could you bring in? What are the potentials? Because that's been my question all along. Everybody wants to bring people in, but I don't hear the names that could come in, which is why I think the moniker of don't skip steps and building through the draft has been echoed through the Spurs brain trust. We've heard it in interviews. We've heard it from Pop. We've heard it from Brian Wright. We've even heard it from Wemby late in the season. And I think part of that is, well, if you're not going to sell the farm to go get somebody, or you don't like the asking price of what a certain player might cost, then you keep building. And part of that build could be this year, next Sunday. And I've got a video on Instagram and Facebook and everything right now at I Am Pledger. Draft lottery is Mother's Day. It is next Sunday at 7:30 on ESPN. And that's kind of the first signpost of the Spurs off season in terms of A, knowing where you're going to pick, and B, how many picks you're going to have in the first round of the lottery. Because you could own Toronto's pick if it does not fall within the top 6, and they are right on the cusp line of 6, 7. So could they win and move up in the lottery? Could they lose and fall back in the lottery? Or could they just end up at 7 or 8? And that would give the Spurs their pick. And then there's the Spurs pick, which could be a top 3, 4 pick. Or if you win the lottery, you could move up. You could go up to 2. You could be 1. What do you do with that then? Because I see a lot of people saying they need to go get the best point guard there is in the draft. Whoever the best point guard is, go get him. Nikola Topic, I've heard. Rod Dillingham, I've heard. I've thrown out names like Alexander Sarr or Zachary Rashard. But those two are bigs. One's a wing, basically. The other's a 7-foot center. I don't care who they pick, as long as whoever they pick with both of those picks is the best possible player. Don't pigeonhole yourself to a position, because this is more true in the NBA than in any other league. You want the best possible player. Did the Spurs pass on Tim Duncan because they already had David Robinson? No, because Tim Duncan was the best player. You could have Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo or Nikola Jokic. I don't care. You take Wemby anyway. You don't take Scoot Henderson because you need a point guard. You take the best player, because in the NBA, players are the most valuable asset that you can have. We're talking about trying to go get a guy, whether it's Darius Garland or Donovan Mitchell or Jimmy Butler or Trae Young or DeJounte Murray. You know what that's going to cost you? Assets, and a lot of them. Look at what it costs to get DeJounte Murray out of San Antonio, and he wasn't even an all-star at the time. It cost them 5 first-round picks, basically 3 unprotected firsts and 2 pick swaps. That's a lot. It's going to cost that or more to go get any one of these other guys that we throw out there name-wise. So just be careful. I hear a lot of go get without any names attached to go get and upgrade the roster. It's not going to be as easy as I think people think, which is why the Spurs have tempered expectations with, we're not skipping steps. Because if you give up everything to go get a piece that doesn't fit, that could spell doom for the future of the franchise and Victor Wembanyama's future. Fred Record says Murray and Young are divas, don't need another number 2 in San Antonio. I've got Miguel Martinez on our YouTube channel saying Mike Conley and Nick Batum. Mike Conley is a very interesting name. Nick Batum is too, to a sense. You see him playing currently with Philadelphia in that Knicks Sixers series with the 76ers. French guy, probably really good rapport with Victor Wembanyama. And then the Conley thing, veteran guard, has gotten his money, knows his role, both when he was in Utah, before that in Memphis, and now with this team that is making an incredible run up in Minnesota. He could be a veteran point guard that you could get through free agency or a trade that would be very, very good, that can move Trey Jones into that second unit. I like that idea, Miguel Martinez. Great job in the bullpen here on Extra Innings. In the YouTube chat, SA Sports Star. Coming back, we'll take a look at what's going on the NBA floor right now with the playoffs and what we have to look forward to coming up. Who's moving on, who's not, and who's in good position. We'll discuss it next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Tyler Guyton joining us here on the Blitz. Played right tackle. Now you're going to go over to left tackle is where they have you penciled in. Mike McCarthy described last night the difference of right tackle and left tackle. His words, it's like wiping with the wrong hand. How difficult do you think it will be for you to make the transition from the right side to the left side?
I mean, honestly, I guess I've been wiping with both hands this whole time, like I'm ambidextrous. I've been playing both. My 4 years in college, I've been split down the middle 2 and 2 with right tackle and left tackle. Honestly, I think I'm better at left. I feel more comfortable at left, and that's what I started off doing.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
I got a little drunk the other night. Went to my neighbor's house to see my dog that I gave him. What?
Hold on.
You gave it away?
Yeah.
The dog's going to miss you and think you're coming to pick it up, and then he's going to be sad.
You're turning the dog's life into a Supreme song, man. He's like, set me free, why don't you, baby? You just keep me hanging on.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Get to Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale and get a king bed for a queen price. Save up to $700 and get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses, all with free and fast delivery. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Folks, quality is a huge deal. It's what I look for when I recommend something to my listeners. It means you can depend on it. Quality means it won't let you down. It's something you can be proud of. Well, that's the definition of a Connecticut water softener. With other water softener brands, you just never know. Maybe they work half the time or they're just plain junk. A Connecticut water softener is up to 80% more efficient than competing models and will be the last water softener you'll ever own. That's because you're buying quality, and it's backed up with an outstanding 10-year warranty, too. If you're ready to enjoy all the benefits that come with quality, bring home a Connecticut water softener. Call the team at Connecticut at 656-PURE or online at ConnecticutSA.com. That's 656-PURE or ConnecticutSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Men's Health, 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate all y'all riding around with me as we get you home. Currently halftime, Milwaukee with Dame trailing the Pacers 59-47 in Milwaukee. Remember, coming up at 8 o'clock here in about an hour, tip-off between the Knicks and Sixers is they're trying to force a Game 7 in Philadelphia back in New York. And just a small reminder, as the Mavericks go up 3-2 on the Los Angeles Clippers without Kawhi Leonard. If whatever the Spurs do doesn't work out immediately, think about Luka and Kyrie. That thing looked like it was going to be a mess when they first acquired him last year. This year, they're playing in sync and in simpatico with one another, and it looks really, really good together on the court. So you got to give things time sometimes to make sure that it all works out in the end. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. I appreciate all y'all for riding with me tonight. Coming up next, Sports Center.
Why do so many dogs suffer from weight issues, skin problems, messy poops, and low energy? It could be the popular dog food you put in their bowl each day.
Cody was sleeping a lot, wasn't playing.
She was very lethargic and not moving around.
Dry kibble just wasn't cutting it.
That's why, after more than 45 years of experience of helping dogs make complete health turnarounds, veterinarian Dr. Marty created Nature's Blend. It's a freeze-dried raw dog food made with wholesome ingredients like premium meats, seeds, vegetables, and fruit. And once dog parents switch their pups to Nature's Blend, the results can be astounding.
She's got her energy back. She's running around like she did like 5 years ago.
Miraculously, she's just feeling all around better. She's like a new dog.